Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel, Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brew review. And as you guys know, I've been looking forward to this. Well, not that I've not enjoyed myself in the past week, of course. So again, shout out to Robert and John, especially for the great beers, and I love that I could pair this with a grand finale. However, a new series is starting right now because it is the very first day of December, meaning the start of our Advent calendar. So, Mr. Hop really put in the work. They made this beautiful, beautiful looking Advent calendar. I'm not sure about this setup for this year, but we'll see that day by day. But first things first, our very first surprise beer of this year. Now, we've already established that Mr. Hop only ships cans, so these will be 24 cans. I already see a black top. Oh, cool can. The Meteoor. Wait, the Meteoor. I do know Meteoor Brewery in France, and I actually only know that because Robert told me about it a few months ago. But this is in Dutch, zwaar blond, so heavy blonde, Kessemus, which is a dialect word for Christmas, and I do see a meteor with an angelic looking choir and a very out of hand Santa. I actually do know this brewery, and for one simple reason. Just like I know Meteoor in France, someone sent me an article about this brewery because they are fairly young. I think they've only started out like in May or June, like somewhere mid 2025. So I think this already being in the Advent calendar is pretty cool, actually. Now I can imagine that the Mr. Hop guys do a great follow-up on new breweries, and they do want to include everyone, so let's see what this is. We've already established it's a heavy blonde, 7.5% ABV, brewed in Hutteklaas Brewery in Albergen. I have no idea where that is. Malted barley, malted wheat, oats, hop and yeast. Brewery, the Meteoor, brews special beer that takes you on a trip through space. Exciting flavors, surprising twists, every sip a new discovery. Get on board and enjoy. Well, that certainly was what I was planning on doing, so let's have a glass and let's see what this first beer brings us. Which trip will this take us on? Oh, very aromatic. Beautiful dark gold color. Nice swirl of carbon dioxide in there. Like I said, really aromatic. Nice thick creamy foam. This is actually the foam that we love to see. Slightly off-white, maybe a bit much, but that's my fault, not the brewers. Yeah, very, very nice looking beer. Absolutely lovely. Oh, this has a very complex nose. Of course, a bit of carbon dioxide, that goes without saying, but slightly sweet. I get some herbal component in there, so I'm guessing they may have used some coriander, for example, although it doesn't strike me as coriander. and a very slight sweet acidity in there. It's like some like that typical scent that we get from lactic acid. So like Rodenbach, for example. But yeah, interesting, intriguing even. And a very bold first choice, but I do get it, I think, because it's also a very interesting first choice. Okay, let's have a sip. Cheers. That is nice. So, except for on paper, Brewery, the Meteoor, was completely unknown to me. And I think it's a very bold choice to pick a new brewery as the first beer. That might go two ways. It might be it's all uphill from here, or it might be making a statement that these guys are definitely worthy to be in this calendar and to be discovered. But I am leaning towards the latter right now. Now, first let me take you to the mouth feel. Despite this beer having a lot of carbon dioxide visibly, it is so creamy and warm that I wouldn't even say this has a lot of carbon dioxide, which is really odd. Secondly, this is a 7.5%er, but it's so smooth, so creamy, so thick, and not sugary. I think this is a silent killer. I think this really goes down very smooth, and that would be very dangerous in many a bar. Apart from that, I do get most things that I got in the nose, except for that acidity. That's nowhere to be found in the flavor. But in the flavor we do get a lot of hops. We do get mainly bitter hops actually. We do get again that herbaceous flavor that I can't really pinpoint. And I'm not gonna say it's boozy, but it is warming. So I think this is a perfect choice for a first beer in a Christmas theme, well, except for the name, of course. And I also love the idea or the fact that people abandoned the idea that Christmas beers have to be dark. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore a bunch of dark Christmas beers, winter beers, but these past few years we have had several blonde winter beers or blonde Christmas beers and a bunch of them were amazing, and actually this one is too. It is malty, it is hoppy, it is simple and complex at the same time. It's, yeah. And after the things that we had the past week, mainly like that Vermontoise, I've had some good stuff these past few weeks, and I'm still enthusiastic about this one. So that really, in this frame of reference, that says something about this beer as well. The after flavor is interesting as well. Mainly bitter in the back of the mouth and the throat. That herbaceousness is slightly less in the aftertaste, but the aftertaste is still very warming, very creamy, and lingers on for a very long time. The aftertaste is actually really, really dry as well. So it starts out malty, soft, herbaceous, slightly sweet, and then it goes to this dry aftertaste. I think this is a beautiful sample of how we could brew, and if this is what they made in a short while for Mr. Hop, I am very curious for their other beers. So I think their mission has succeeded in getting us warm for the rest of their range. Okay, off to a fantastic start. How will I score this beer? I would say a nice 375, because I'm way too enthusiastic to only get a 3.5 out of this. No, I really love that dry aftertaste. So 375, and a big thank you to Mr. Hop. Okay, that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I will be here all week, all month even, because after this advent calendar I'm gonna add a week of winter beers, Christmas beers, and so on, just like last year. And January 1st will be my 500th review, so I would love to see you guys again for that. Until then, cheers!